This is the 21st season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. We're going to take today's show into the future, into technological future. It's a very interesting show. If you remember, for the past couple years, we've had Tom Brewbaker on from Rather Outdoors, kind of ran the show over there, and he's had a little bit of a career switch, and now doing something that I think has a lot of potential for the future of the tournament industry at all different levels too. There might even be in the future some potential there for BTL. There isn't a derby that is going on. Do people still get upset when I call it a derby? I know that was a bad habit. There's a tournament. There's a competition that is going on over on Smith Mountain Lake, the B&W Trailer Hitches Heavy Hitters on Smith Mountain. This is one of those where they chop it up. The top 30 guys, basically, they take your heaviest fish throughout the year over on the BPT and then combine those weights, and if you're in the top 30, you make the heavy hitters. Group 2, qualifying Group 2, currently on the water now. Justin Lucas with a commanding lead in that. Over in Group A, Michael Neal has already done it. I extended an invitation, so Cliff Crochet fishing the opens now had an epic catch to make it into the elimination line with 6 minutes left. So Cliff may jump on later. We may get a very excited CAJUN baby. I have no idea whether or not he's going to take advantage of that opportunity. But I think our guest today, Tom, if I got this right, I was perusing before. I think he caught a PB yesterday. I think I saw on social media where the man was cheesing with a giant largemouth. Is that right, Tom?
That happened. Now, on a technicality, I shouldn't even say this. So, technically, my PB is a 9.2, but that's not important because this is my new PB. Because
wait a second, how does that work? You can't have a sketchy PB. Why is it?
Well, it was on a private. You didn't reel in someone else. You didn't reel in someone else's fish.
Oh, that doesn't matter. That still counts.
The 9.2, yeah, that was a private body of water. Well, this one was the first, I guess, biggest fish on a lake. It was just such an extreme bite on a frog, and I mean, it was just unreal. I'm still on cloud nine about it. So it was an 8.13
on a frog.
So on a frog, yeah.
Did it
and it was in
it plow it, or did it suck it under, or did it evaporate it? Evaporate? So what is that? Eviscerate? Evaporate?
Eviscerate? I think eviscerate is a very good word for that.
Did it eviscerate the frog?
It eviscerated it. I basically flipped it. It backboarded off these reeds, and then the second that it hit the water, I twitched it once, and then it was just like a tarpon or something. It was just water everywhere. I'm just oh my gosh, this is nuts. Yeah.
And you were insane. On Okeechobee.
Yeah.
Are you in Scott Martin's office?
I am. Yep. He let me borrow his office.
Dude, I had no clue this was going on. Explain to me what's going on and why.
I thought you saw this in the These are not my checks. Did not win these.
Why are you doing this interview out of Scott Martin's office?
Well, I'm staying down at the Roland Martin Marina, and it's awesome. It doesn't have very good internet, at least where I was at. And so I was just if I want a really cool background, Scott, can I use your office for this? And yeah, so he's out fishing, and I'm doing BTL in his office because where's a better place in Florida than Scott Martin's office?
That's fair.
So I mean, this is the Forest Wood. I'm looking at a Forest Wood Cup trophy right now.
Interesting. Before we get into it, I will say this: do you carry these when you go fishing, in the boat and stuff, Tom? I feel like that style of toothpick is one of the most underrated items that you can carry in your boat.
Are we doing a plug right now?
No, I'm not. If you notice, so when I came in for the show live, I left and I had something in between my two front teeth, and I went and got this, but I was out of them in my bathroom, so I had to go out to the boat in the console of my boat where I always carry like 10 of these because there's nothing worse than like beef jerky stuck in your tooth at like 8 a.m. and you're on the water and you know you're not getting off the water till night, and then that thing like bugs you. Like these things, out of everything that's in my boat, these things save the day more than anything else.
You have the nice ones too. Like I got the green ones that come in like the mega bag from Walgreens, and then I spilled them all over my car.
Ones that have a 90 degree.
Yeah.
So that way
I feel like there's a multi-purpose. There's a fishing application for that. I don't know what it is, but there's something that somebody's using that for.
I use this end here, like when I'm trying to clean my reels to like get into the grooves and stuff, like on the level wind and underneath it, like that gets like, you know, especially if you're frog fishing, gets like the little moss and stuff out of there.
Yeah. So, no, I definitely use those. Yep.
All right.
Braided line.
So the last time you were on, you were running the show or doing whatever you did over at Rather. Great pro team over there, incredible pro staff. You've got guys leading Angler of the Year, winning classics left and right, all sorts of stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
And now you're with Fishing Chaos. So walk us through the career move, Tom.
Yeah. So my last week with Rather was actually at the Bassmaster Classic. And so to go out with Easton Fothergill winning the Classic was just incredible. So I started working with like Fishing Chaos on as a customer of theirs, running the Striking Big Bass USA, the nationwide tournaments and the online tournaments, or the in-person tournaments too. And so I got introduced to those guys there, and I don't know. I felt this like pull, like that they were doing something special over there, and that I think there's a challenge that we all have on our hands with getting more people into tournament fishing and making that more accessible. And like barriers of entry, whatever they are, whether it's like the boat you're fishing out of or electronics or any of that stuff, like trying to create a different pathway that could be connected through phones, because everybody knows like the youngest generation, they're on their phones all the time. So if there's a way to sort of connect that back into the in-person tournament space and sort of establish a funnel there, I thought that was a big opportunity, and I thought it was something that the sport really needed. I don't know if you saw this stat, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but essentially what it comes down to, I saw this at the ASA Summit a couple of years ago, and it sent kind of a chill up my spine, which was that the sport is growing. We have more like people getting fishing licenses than ever before, but what we haven't seen is that at the top, the largest group of consumers in like the 55 to like 70 age group, the number in that pool, the group that would essentially be let's think it's 15 to 30 now. The size of the 15 to 30 is about a third of the size of your 55 to 70. So that group, as they phase out, they're not going to be replaced in numbers by the younger group. So like I feel like it's something that we need to be focused on, which is getting more people into the sport. And Fishing Chaos, they're really great for running in-person tournaments. But this whole nationwide tournament concept of pulling people from the entire country into like, even a qualifier that goes into an in-person, or maybe it's just a nationwide, it's just like full connectivity. And I ran a survey with the people that fish the Big Bass USA, and I got like 1,500 survey responses. Like 4,000 people fished the tournament, and they were just overwhelmingly positive. And it was a lot of people that were avid anglers that fish tournaments that kind of used the month-long competition as a contingency, all the way down to people that hadn't been fishing in a few years, but like there's a guy that was active duty, and he hadn't had the time, and so he said that this was a $10 entry fee. He was like, this gave me a reason to kind of have a competitive sort of edge to it and get out there and like fish when I can. And he's like, I finished in like 230th, but I had a blast. And so just seeing all the people that like that wanted some sort of I would say like no intimidation factor to like more low key casual fishing, that there was a competition to it. I thought that was, it really rung a bell with me. And, I wanted to jump in and try it. And I obviously, like, working at Strike King and Lose was incredible. And they're top notch, and their whole team is just exceptional. So it was bittersweet. And I still live in Columbia, and I still see those guys, but yeah, so it's been really cool. And we just got a bunch of cool things going on. So it's been 2 months now of trying to get things sort of set up, and but they already had a great thing going. So yeah, it's been really neat.
All right, we need to back up here. So start from the beginning. So what is Fishing Chaos? For those who don't understand, who don't know what it is, because I need to wrap my head around this too, because I kind of understand what it is. Like, I know Logan Parks has done a bunch with it. He's always like promoting his stuff. I think, are you guys running the NPFL leaderboard? And is that you guys that are running that too? So I know that it's like a online, just from the beginning, for our listeners who don't know what it is, I need a base as to what exactly this is. Like, I'm looking here, I'll show you what you see when you go to it. You see, there it is right there. Find a Fishing Chaos community or trail, all of this stuff. Layman's terms, think guys who don't understand what's going on here, and even me, what is Fishing Chaos? What does it do?
So if you want to engage in a tournament of any kind, whether it's in person or online, you just go to this app and you can look at tournaments near you. You can look at online, like nationwide tournaments that are, multiple months or weeks, or the ones that are like a weekend in-person tournament. So it's essentially a one-stop shop for like registering for a tournament and fishing a tournament. They have live leaderboards for live tournaments. They have live leaderboards for your online tournaments. And it's just a way to engage, like, from a brand side, Strike King and Lose being behind this. We were able to put on something for a month that really provided a competitive space for the masses, without needing to, you could fish from a boat, bank, or kayak. If you like to fish, it was public waters only. So, I mean, I guess, like, that layman's terms, it's all things fishing. But then there's ways that you can engage with, like, the brand communities on there. Like Strike King and Lose have some focus groups, like, for new product testing, for early ICAST releases. American Bait Works with Scumfrog and NetBait and Bait Fuel, they just kicked off like platforms on there. And what their goal is to have one-to-one communications directly with anglers that whether they're creating content or they're providing feedback to product samples, or getting access to content that might be exclusive for members of those brand communities. It's and then I guess the last piece of it is, if you're somebody that's operating a tournament from any size, I mean, if you have 10 people or 10,000, you can set up and run your entire trail club and all your tournaments through this, and it just makes it a lot easier, simplifies the process. And I mean, my goal is to have a lot more tournaments on there. I mean, there's a lot of Bass Nation events on there. There is like you can see on there the Big O Showdown, and like the Roland Martin Marina series is on there. The Striking Big Bass Challenge, they're on there.
Giant virtual tournament director in a way. Like, it manages the weights, everything that plugs in there, but then it's also real time, where you can do inches. You can have everybody that's weighing in on one scale that's going into there, or you can have everybody that's inputting their own weights onto it. Is that the way that I'm getting it correctly?
Yep. And you can do weight too. You just have to set up rules that, set certain parameters about, like, how you record your weight and validate that. And so, and there's a few things we're working on to make that even easier, that we're going to be releasing soon. So
this is what I was thinking, Tom. So, full disclosure, not sponsored by Fishing Chaos. BTL is not, hopefully, working with you guys in the future, but this is not a paid advertisement whatsoever for Fishing Chaos. But here's where I had some conversations with you in the past month or two, and to where I saw it. So like, hypothetically, I'm starting CTL Crappie Talk Live in this fall. And if I wanted to do a length limit crappie tournament, whether there's someone that's listening in Florida fishing for crappie out of the lily pad stems on Okeechobee, or long poling them out of Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma, I could have a CTL Fishing Chaos crappie tournament set up that runs for anywhere from 1 day to a month or a week or whatever. Everybody could input their links and whatever, and then you could have a winner at the end. So you could have a BTL, a CTL, you could have any of these tournaments that kind of brings the entire country together in one app.
Yeah. Yep. But it's in one community too. Like, so if you wanted to have your BTL Angler of the Year for crappie and bass, this is a great way to do that.
Yeah.
And you can update it monthly, see what your leaderboard standings are.
Is this the type of thing that like Milliken's done a couple times too?
Yes, Milliken has done a couple. Well, I should, yeah. He might be doing some more, but yeah, he's done a couple. That was before I started here, but yeah. He has done some. Mm-hmm.
So it's like a virtual tournament director for in layman's terms, if you were to just simplify it down as much as you can.
Yeah, I would say, virtual tournament operations is what I would. Yeah.
So here's my next question. Obviously, everyone's going to say, how do you prevent cheating or tomfoolery in this arena?
Well, so on the in-person tournament side, I mean, that's pretty, straightforward, because like it like a lot of that is like, it's your typical weigh-in. It's just like the software that they use to actually like weigh the fish and confirm weights and put those online, and have a live leaderboard. Like that's just basically, a top of the line software for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like your nationwide or your virtual tournaments, so Fishing Chaos acquired a company that does all the verification and judging for fish catches, and they can tell if a fish has been, or a photo has been edited. They can verify the time that the photo was taken. They can, if it's a public waters only type of deal, they can validate if the fish was caught on public waters. And so like it's ultimate management of preventing cheaters. And a lot of times it's not people, like I don't think there's a lot of people out there that are just like actively trying to cheat. I mean, I've seen a couple where I'm like, come on, dude, that was like such a sad attempt at that. But I think like a lot of times it's like like if it's fish measurement on a measuring board, like you don't want to be pinching the tail to extend the length, or like the fish's mouth is open, so it's another say half an inch longer. Like there's parameters around that, like to make sure that it's a level playing field. And that was my first concern when I was talking to these guys a few years ago. I'm like, all right, guys, it's going to be like we have 4,000 people in this thing. Like, how do we know how do we really know if somebody's juking the system or not? And it was fail proof. I mean, foolproof, whatever that term is. It was accurate. I mean, there was no instances. I mean, there were some where we had to say like, hey, this is the same fish that you've uploaded now 3 times. Like that, we can't do that. That's not going to count. And so, I mean, you have people that try to take advantage of the system, but they're pretty easy to identify. So yeah, that's how that's managed.
Okay. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, you have a couple really cool, you call them tournaments or contests?
Tournaments.
Tournaments.
They're tournaments. They're derbs. They're derbies. Yeah. I love the name derby.
This is the other thing that I like about this. It encompasses guys who have done this like me since I was 14 years old in tournaments where you weigh it in, but it also, we use the phrase growing the sport way too much. But I also have had a lot of people in my boat, whether it's their first time ever in a Wednesday night jackpot, or you've got $20 on the line with them and they catch something and there's like, no pun intended, there's something on the line. Like they hook that fish and you're like, oh my God, they've never felt that adrenaline rush since like high school football when they're running out of the tunnel, and then they get the 9 to 5 and there's just no adrenaline rush. And then they get in their first fishing derby, their first fishing tournament, and they're not expecting it, and they hook it, and boom, that adrenaline rush, you can watch it coursing through their veins, through their body. And that's hard. Like if you don't know this tiny little arena, this bubble that we live in, it's very intimidating even to get into a club tournament, a jackpot. There's so many unwritten rules. You have to know people. You start. Then if you're in a co-angler, like there's a lot of guys who don't want to it's just hard to get into. It really is. But I think that with some of the things you're doing with Fishing Chaos and some of the people that are involved there, I think that there is an easier way to introduce the masses to get that feeling. Is that a fair intro before we take our first break and come 100%. Back, that you can talk about a couple of the things that are going on? And then after that, we'll let you get back to catching PBs in Clewiston, and we'll bring on the man who had a complete, you want to talk about adrenaline coursing through his body. We'll have to play the video, but the Cajun baby is going to join us from Smith Mountain Lake later on there. But okay, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, Tom Brewbaker going to talk about how they're bringing a celebrity element into this Fishing Chaos to get more people into the tournament fishing scene. So it's BTL on a Tuesday. We'll be back right after that.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
All right, abbreviated commercial break there. Let's go a little Basscat action, and I'm sure there'll be a new Lynx STS commercial coming out soon. Had a chance to see that at the Classic. I think Trey McKinney's ran one in the last tournament. I think they had to bring him that. Looks really cool. Anyway, back with Tom Brewbaker. All right, that was a long setup for that ad, but you're doing some really cool stuff to bring more people into the tournament / competition aspect side of bass fishing, correct?
Correct.
Elaborate.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, back to what we were talking about earlier. I mean, the main thing I think here with attracting people into the tournament side of things and ultimately getting them into a boat to be, either a boater or a co-angler, I think it starts with kind of that experience that you described, like that first hook or that first bass that somebody catches in the adrenaline rush. And then how do they, engage with that more after that happens? And a lot of times, some of the things you talked about, before we hit a break, just the having to know somebody, or even when it comes down to making sure that you have enough rods and reels and baits, and the right rods and reels and baits, and that you're, ready to go compete in a tournament format, it can be a little intimidating. And what you want to have happen is, if it's like, like I remember being like 14 years old and wanting to get into tournaments, but it kind of just seemed like, I probably should have tried harder, but it was just a little bit more difficult to go find somebody to fish with, or like, and I didn't have a boat. So I'm like, you hear the story all the time, like, kids sitting at a boat ramp and somebody just says, "Hey man, like jump in the boat, let's go fishing." And and luckily that happened for me. But if that doesn't happen for everybody, you don't want to see them walk away from the sport or not, continue that momentum they had for that joy of catching that fish and expanding upon that, because there's so many distractions out there in different directions people can go. So you want them to, dive more into that hobby and, make it, really embrace that passion more. So that's what Fishing Chaos does from the nationwide tournaments aspect of it. If there's like a free tournament or a, $10 low entry fee tournament where you can have that kid that's fishing from the bank, he's got a kayak, or he's fishing from a boat, where he can engage in competition and see the names and the faces of people that are competing from all over the U.S. And then finding success. I mean, I feel like that's the thing that's foundational with, building upon your passion and love for anything, is having success doing it. And, catching that PB, it's something that builds on itself. And so if you have an outlet to see that put you on a certain position on the leaderboard, or win anything from $5,000, Old Town kayak, to, a $50 gift card, like winning something for that fish that you catch. I feel like that's critical with this. And it's all connected from, if you got a phone with a camera on it, you can engage with this. And so that's where I think this starts, is you're pulling, you're removing some barriers of entry to competition, and then you're pulling them into some cool environments. And the other side of that is like, who's hosting the tournament? And this is something that we're jumping into a lot more. We just announced the first one that I would describe as a celebrity-driven tournament with the Red Clay Strays.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up right here.
Yeah, the Summer Slam. So this is really cool because it's also generating money for Camp ASCA, which is for children with disabilities, which my little brother has spina bifida, and we went to the same camp growing up, and it's just a really, really cool camp. And obviously they need funding. They're a 501, and so the Red Clay Strays partnered with them. And so that's where the entry fees are donations. And so there's still some really good payouts with it. And then a good portion of that is going to Camp ASCA. And there's also some really cool prizes, like things that, like I was talking to their band manager and some people in the band, and I was like, man, you guys are doing a bass fishing tournament. We got to have a signed guitar. Like, come on. Like, nobody's ever won a signed guitar in a fishing tournament before. I'm sure that's probably happened, but not that I know of. So they're like, yeah, let's throw in a guitar. So there's a guitar, there's tickets to a concert, which I don't know, for the Red Clay Strays fans out there, anybody that's tried to buy a ticket, they sell out like instantaneously. So to be able to get a couple of tickets to a show of your choice, it's something unique in the fishing space. And these guys, they love to fish. Their bassist Andy, he's just ate up with it. And I mean, he's fishing whenever he's on a tour in Australia right now, but he loves it. He fishes every time he gets the opportunity to. And there's so many celebrities out there that love to fish.
But here's a cool thing. So I'm looking at their Instagram page. They have 1.6 million followers, and they've posted this, that thing that I showed, the SummerSlam, June 1st through 30th. Excited to announce our Red Clay Strays SummerSlam fishing tournament. We partnered up with Fishing Chaos to raise money for our friends at Camp ASCCA ASCA. Find the link in bio for details. It has 1,400 shares, almost 14,000 likes on it. You're introducing that to a long list of literally 1 million people who have never even considered fishing a tournament before, but are fans of the Red Clay Strays, to where you're now introducing them to the possibility of, even if you get 2% of them to say, hey, this is it, or they know someone that does it, that's how you generate interest in this. That's how you grow it. Like, I mean, you look at what Travis and Coach Prime have done for bass fishing, with Colorado and their interest on that. Like, now there's a way that you can feel connected to these guys because you're fishing in their tournament. You're doing, I'm just saying it's really cool how you can use technology to connect people across the country.
Yep.
Like, this is available right now. You can go on, you can click on the link, you can sign up, you can do it. Anybody, doesn't matter. Cliff Crochet down here, he can do it, right? He can do it after he's done crushing it at Heavy Hitters. He can jump in.
Come on, Cliff.
When the sign went. I can do it at BTL. My buddy Juice, who was on the show yesterday, who I don't know if he's ever cashed a tournament check. This could be this could be his way to fame and glory.
Yep. And if Cliff wants to score a fish that he catches during a tournament into this, he could win a signed guitar by the Red Clay Strays. So
yeah, I
mean, it's like it's almost like a contingency too for your tournaments. It's like you catch that big fish, you might as well score it into a tournament. I mean, it could win you something really cool.
Is this the way tournaments are going, Tom? Like, is this where you see the future of, for so many years you had the BFLs, you have the nations, you have your club tournament or whatever. Do you see in the future more tournaments that connect people through technology that are on different lakes that last a week instead of just the 10 hours on the single day? Do you see this space growing?
I think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was kind of the main driver for me with making the career change. I think this is, I think it's the solution. I mean, I think it's like we're seeing this year tournament participation is down. It's as low as it's been in the past 15 years, at least from what I've heard from a few sources, and that's due to a number of factors like the economy, unknowns around the tariffs and all that stuff. I also think it's, a little bit of intimidation around maybe forward-facing sonar. Entry fees are, they're expensive depending on what the tournament trail is. So I think it's important that we are driving more eyeballs and creating opportunities for people to catch fish in a competition that is, not as much on the line in terms of like financial commitment. And then they, get that itch that all of a sudden they're fishing in-person tournaments. They're fishing, bass events and MLF events, and they're fishing, every sort of, TBF, everything. They're getting into the things that are critical, foundational pieces of this sport. And, we want to be, bringing people into it and continue to grow it is, one of the greatest things that we have the privilege to do in the U.S.
Before I let you go, any other major tournaments that guys can get involved with besides this Red Clay Strays one?
Yep, Big Bass USA, Strike King. They've got a competition going on right now. It's a nationwide deal. It goes through I think June 15th, so a lot of time to still get into that one. You can win Minn Kota Ultrex. You can win their I can't even remember what it is. It's their new graph. It's awesome. And you could win a bunch of stuff from Yeti and a bunch of cool sponsors. So you got that one. You got the Southern String.
Is that one right there?
Yes. That is. So that's the Northern Open. If you're in the South, you can still compete in the big fish side of it and win one of those awesome prizes there. Pretty big cash payout too. You had the Southern String, the first annual classic. So these guys that we had like 5,000 people enter this within like 24 hours. It was nuts. Yeah, these guys are a hat subscription. I got their shirt on out. They got some crazy hats. So check them out. They're a subscription that has a pretty massive waiting list just to try and get on it. And essentially you can pick a team here. There's a couple of country music stars in there, a mystery team. You got Scott, Hillary, Garrett, Lauren, G Money Fishing for those of you that follow them. And so you can pick a team, and then the winning team in there is actually going to win a pretty hefty amount of cash that can go to a charity of their choice, or you as the individual can win cash and cool prizes. You see there from Yeti, Strike King, Lose, Waterland, a bunch of other cool sponsors. This is like, I was not familiar with them until we started working with them on this. They have a absolutely rabid fan base. Charity. Yeah. Okay. If you're a subscriber, it's free.
Wait, Tom. So we raise money for St. Jude every year. We did our team, me and Adam Bartuza proudly did almost $49,000 for St. Jude this year in a tournament that did $1.1 million through 97 teams. The way I'm reading this amazing. Is we could do a BTL and St. Jude Bass Fishing Saves Lives fundraiser tournament through Fishing Chaos next spring, where the entry fee goes to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and then I provide the prize packs or payouts or whatever through, and it doesn't matter where you are located in the country, you can participate in this tournament.
100%. I would also recommend doing an awesome BTL shirt.
$50, instead of just donating or just buying a t-shirt, you could potentially fish in a tournament that's ran by Fishing Chaos. That's the way I'm understanding it, because it looks like if on like the Southern Strings deal, like all the profits for this go to charity.
Yep. Same with the Red Clay Strays.
Yeah, we're gonna work for something there.
Let's get it. I love it.
Yeah.
Tell me when. It's free for you to run it too. Okay. So lot of upside. Only upside.
Yeah, only upside.
Catching fish.
If you are on, so if people want to get on this before I let you go, the easiest way is to download the Fishing Chaos app on your out of your Apple Store, right, or Google Play.
Yeah, that'll be the easiest way. That's the best way to stay in the loop. But you can also, I mean, there's the web-based version, fishingchaos.com. But yeah, the app will give you the best access to everything that's going on. And we got a bunch of cool tournaments. Like you mentioned a couple of names earlier. We're going to be announcing some tournaments here soon that are going to include some really big names, and these are going to keep coming. We got a lot coming after this. That
just awesome. For those that aren't, you go to fishingchaos.com and then you click find a tournament, and then you go to the web app, and then boom, there it shows you everything that's going on. So like some of these, oh, you have like a virtual qualifier for the Ultimate Angler. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, Tyler's Real Fishing has a deal.
Yep, he's got a monthly challenge in there.
There's all sorts of stuff on this that you can get in and get involved with. So even if you don't have a tournament coming up, you can jump on here and find something to jump into.
Absolutely. And if you're running a trail and listening to this and you want to have your tournament featured in here and people be able to find it based on where they are, their location.
There's Oliver Nye.
Let's talk. Yep.
Oklahoma Kayak Catfish Series. My God. I didn't know that was a thing.
Better than that.
Oh, they smash him on Oologah too. Dude, not only is it the kayak and the catfish, and it's probably an inches deal too.
Yeah, it's every species. I mean, any species that you can catch in the U.S.
That's what I'm saying. I talked to you about crappie. We're definitely going to do a crappie one, and I think we're definitely going to do a St. Jude one next year.
Got to do a bass one. I mean,
Panger do a BTL derb every quarter for St. Jude throughout the year. That's not a bad idea. Because that way you get the northern guys and the southern guys. Or I could even do like a smallmouth one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You could do anything. Any fish that you could catch, you could turn it into a competition. And win some cool prizes. So let's make it happen.
All right. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you get back to it. I know you got a busy. Congratulations on the PB on the Frog. 8-13 last night. I can tell you're still living high on that one. So we'll be in contact. I got a bunch of stuff. You know, my schedule is absolutely nuts. I'm going out of the country next week. Then I'm going on a frog hunt. Then I'm going up to Minnesota. Then I'm going to Alaska. Back to back to back to back to back to back. Oh my God. So we'll get it done.
Getting after it. Love it.
I know. All right. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
Brother. Appreciate you.
All right, see, there it is, Tom from Fishing Cast. Like I said, check that out. Not a sponsor of BTL, but some really cool ways to bring anglers together across the country. All right, he's been patiently waiting, but his other option is driving back to Louisiana. So I'm sure he'll take patiently waiting over driving back to Louisiana. That is Cliff Crochet. Cliff, can you hear me? I don't know if Cliff can hear me. Is Cliff asleep? What do we got going on with Cliff right here? Cliff is passed out because I know he can hear me. Oh my God. We're gonna have to take a break real quick. We'll wake Cliff up and then we'll be back with the final segment. It's VTL on a Tuesday. As long as we can wake Cliff. Oh, there he is. Cliff, can you hear me now?
Years, but rumor has it.
Can you hear me now?
Might be.
You can hear me now?
I got you.
Oh, we thought you were asleep.
No, I was scrolling.
You're scrolling.
Waiting on you.
We thought you were asleep.
No, I was just.
Oh my God. All right. I just figured I'd have you on. Every once in a while, you get a Cajun baby moment, and we had a Cajun baby moment at MLF Heavy Hitters. Everyone knows fishing all of the Bassmaster Opens this year, but you fished the BPT last year, qualified for Heavy Hitters. So basically a one-off free-for-all, no strings attached, go in, try to catch big fish and win cash money for 5 or 6 days in a row. And you're still in it, Cliff.
Still in it. Yeah, at one point I was in it good, then I fell out, got back in, and luckily, thankfully, fishing again tomorrow, advanced. Dude, here, real quick, let me tell you this story. day 2 of my career has always been an issue. And man, I thought I fell into that trap again yesterday.
I'm trying to pull up the video here as we get it, but explain what it was like kind of going back to the Major League Fishing, the venue, just for a one-off. Like, I mean, you had to feel absolutely no pressure going into this week.
No, well, being a single tournament, a spinoff, whether I was at Major League Fishing or still at Bass, whatever, that one, like a showcase type event, yeah, it's great. You get paid to show up. If you catch them good, if not, that's cool too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So set it up for us. So they break it into 2 days. Top 15 or 15 fish each, or right, 15 fish each day. Top 10.
Top 8 advance.
Yeah, top 8 advance.
So after day 1, I'm in 5th place. 31 pounds. I got an 8-pound cushion over 9th place. And so the goal yesterday was to stay in the top 8 to advance to the knockout round. That's how we started the day.
Yeah. And then the day did not go as planned.
The day did not really go as planned. Started off, caught like 6 pounds in the first period. Well, I caught a 4, a 2, and a 3-pounder. Yeah. And kept covering water, and it just wasn't working. And man, I hit a point in the day where I was like, "This ain't working." But you got to change something, and I changed something.
And then this happened. So how much time is left when this happens?
So this is in the beginning of the 3rd period, I think.
This is that one where you go nuts.
Yeah. So this right here is about 20 minutes left
in the whole day.
In the whole day, I'm 3 ounces outside of the cut, and I thought it was just Alton Jr., but it's me. Now listen to these dudes. Me, Alton Jr., and Wheeler fighting for the last spot.
Yeah.
And I'm 3 ounces back. No, I was 213 back. I was 2 pounds, 13 ounces, 20 minutes left in the day. And here we go.
What are you throwing here? Are you throwing a frog here, or is this a chatterbait?
Chatterbait. I've been trying to get that frog bite all week. I ain't got it. We start back at scratch tomorrow. He might play tomorrow. I don't know.
All right. So this is what happened. We've got audio here. I'm hoping it works. Let's turn the audio on and relive this moment.
213. I need a 213 at this point. Oh, man.
You gotta wait though. You don't know what it weighs yet.
213, I need.
3 pounds.
Bam! That's what you never give up! You fight! You fight! Bam! That's what's up! You fight!
There you go.
That's it, bro.
Were you planning on? Did that? Was that just your gut reaction to jumping back inside the cut?
Yeah, dude, that was well, I had a tough third. I had a tough day. I caught a couple in the 3rd period, which is historically a bad period for me. Dude, it's like, I mean, this is like if you're a football dude, bro, this is like
4th and 10.
No, this is like 1st and 10 playing from the 30 with like 50 seconds left, and you throw a deep post and you score, and it comes out, bro. Like that's the drug. Y'all was talking earlier about fishing and term fishing.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that is you talking about the 9 to 5 and something you don't get unless you lose that shit.
You don't get that shot of adrenaline.
Yeah, dude, that
random shot of adrenaline.
Yeah. Here's the scary part. I knew I had 20 minutes left. I kept fishing, bro, because that's hot, and that's the bittersweet thing about competition. That was the high. I knew there was a chance for a low to come right back down if I didn't catch
like Wheeler catching a giant and jumping you.
Yeah, I mean those and the 2 dudes I'm in the fight with are world-class fishermen. You know what I'm saying? So
one's the #1 guy in the world right now, no doubt.
But yeah, that was fun. That I feel sorry for people that don't get to feel things like that.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel things like that in your life, I apologize. They don't have to be fishing break.
There it is right there. You the 8 that moved on, Michael Neal, Jeff Sprague, Nick Hatfield, Freddie. Oh, you're fishing again. You got Freddie. This could be hopefully turn into an old school frog duel. Freddie, Edwin, Drew, Gil, Mark Daniels Jr., and you edged out AJ Jr. and Jacob Wheeler and Dave Lefebvre and Matt Becker. It's pretty strong.
That's the
how much did that earn? I mean, are you guaranteed like 10K now or more money than
we got so you get 4,100 to show up.
Yeah. Don't make anything for making the cut now?
Yeah, knockout round you get 7,000.
So you guaranteed yourself an extra $3,000.
Yeah.
And another day to potentially catch a gigantic.
Yep.
What is Big Bass in the next round pay?
30 or 50.
So everyone fishes together. So there'll be 16 guys that fish tomorrow.
There'll be 16 guys tomorrow.
And it's a 1-day shootout. And the guy who catches the biggest bass gets $30,000.
And the top 10
go to the final round. And then the guy who catches the biggest bass in the final round gets $100,000.
Yes, you get $100,000 for big fish. And then there's a standard tournament payout, like 130 or whatever that payout.
So if you win and catch big bass, that's $200K.
Yep.
So you're still alive. You're one of the 16 anglers that is alive for the $250,000.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. There are a number of guys that did that. I know Matt Steffen, he's fishing today. He is no longer on the BPT, but he is in Heavy Hitters. There's you. I feel like there's one other guy too.
Johnny Van Dam.
Yes, Jonathan Van Dam. They're all just on free-for-alls. Well, this is kind of a one-off standalone tournament.
Yeah, right. Well, no matter where you're fishing, it's a showcase event or whatever you know.
You need to do a Cajun Baby Bayou Classic on Fishing Chaos.
Y'all want to do it?
I don't know. I could hook you up with Tom, but that would be cool.
Shoe pick. You could weigh in bass and shoe pick.
You could totally do that. You could do like an inches battle on Grinnell or dogfish or shoe pick or what are the other terms for them?
Dogfish, mudfish, shoe pick, bullfin.
Mudfish.
At home.
Grinnell. Shoe pick.
Home.
Yeah, but you call crappie sockeye. Sockeye.
Yeah.
And then you call drum goo.
A goon.
A goo. Are you with Buka now? I was just in an academy and I saw a massive end cap of Buka brand with rats and shad and glides and all sorts of stuff. I was like, holy cow.
Buka brand, yeah.
That's like Buka stuff, right? That's what started out with Buka just carving his stuff. That started out as the OG, the bull shad, the 4 joint that he was carving out, and then he's actually really taken that a long, long way from where it started.
That trick shad is a pretty cool bait. It's it looks good. It's easy to work. That swim bait game is intimidating, really big and really intimidating. Coming from a dude that's trying to get into it, you know what I'm saying? Like we hang with Chris and them Zaldane. They like to, they throw them big gods, and they've been doing it forever. But for somebody just trying to get into it, that Buka's made it easy for us. So thank you.
You're not in bad shape in the EQs. I know you're fishing all of them. You started out with a 65th place on Clark's Hill, and then, in the second division, a 58th on a very tricky Tom Bigby. And also in Division 1, I know it doesn't look great, but it is not bad. An 83rd, a 100th, and a 94th. You're alive in both divisions now for the top 50, Cliff.
Yeah, those numbers are deceiving, man, because those fields are so big. Like that's above half the field in all of those events.
Yeah.
But I would tell you this: I've learned this. You learn a little bit as you get a little older. Bro, like I've worried, EQs are good. I hope to requalify, and I can't wait till whatever, Dude, that's way far in advance. I'm just trying to fish tomorrow, advance, and get home. I'm not looking past dark today. You can't get too far ahead of myself.
Yeah, you're in. They take the top 50, and you're in 54th in Division 1 and 73rd in Division 2. So you're in good shape.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not in great shape. You're in way better shape than I am. Division 2, dude. I fished 3 events. I am in. I'm not in good shape. I'm at 163rd, Cliff.
With 2 to go? 1 or 2
No,
to
with
go?
1 to go. I finished 100th at Rayburn.
Fair.
I finished 200th at Kentucky Lake. Oh, that's interesting. It legitimately has me down as winning Kentucky Lake. Look at this. Look, it has a 1 with 200 points next to it. Oh, no, it has me finishing 200th, which got me 1 point. Never mind. Oh, my God, I got to end this show.
Matt, let me tell you what. I got one more thing I'm super excited about, bro.
Yes, sir.
This morning, I reached 50,000 followers on Facebook.
That's big league.
I'm excited for that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. When are you doing the reality show?
Reality show?
Yeah. I don't know how you don't. You've got 4 boys under 6 with twins living in a part of a country that's famous for reality shows.
Bro, here's what's funny. I had a dude one time. He's like, you need a reality show. Crochet Chaos. That was the name of it. We could do it. We could do it. I'm like, all right, perfect. He's like, you'd kill it. I said, good. Pay for it. He said, no. I'm like, well, you must not think it's that good of an idea if you don't want to pay for it.
That's fair.
But I did.
I feel like you're right up TLC's alley.
Yeah. I do. I have been putting some stuff on YouTube. That's kind of like that a little bit.
Like the secret lives of tennis wives, and then followed by the CAJUN babies.
We went to a wrestling match, and it was pretty awesome.
What do you mean? Like a real wrestler? Well, I'm not saying it's not real.
Yeah, so there's a local promotion around the house called Gulf State Wrestling.
Okay, so it's like a WWE style wrestling.
Yeah.
Like entertainment wrestling.
Yeah, I take the boys to that every now and then, and they like it. And
do they not come home and just beat the crap out of each other?
No. That happens no matter what.
I mean, I don't. That doesn't just encourage more physical contact.
Yeah, I guess they wrestle a little bit when they get home.
You don't see them like jumping off the dining room table onto each other more or something.
Yeah. DDT. They don't. Bro, here's what's crazy. They don't know what a DDT is. I'm like, what? How do you not know what a DDT is?
I think that's on you to teach them that.
Yeah.
How much weight do you need tomorrow? Like, how is Smith Mountain fishing right now? Is it tough? Is it easy? Are you optimistic? Like, what do you envision? How do you envision this sucker going down tomorrow?
When you get around them, when you, and I'm trying to dial this thing in a little bit. When you get around them, it's not very hard. It's not slow and steady. You know what I'm saying? When you're not around them and it's not working, it's like it's tough to get a bite. So, I've seen Michael Neal around. I've seen Sprague around a little bit. So, I'm not in a bad part of the lake. But tomorrow, you figure you need 50 pounds probably.
Yeah. And it seems like, just looking at the weights from your group, which is already done, not saying anything about today's, it looks like anything over 5 gives you a chance at some cash.
5 pounds?
Yeah.
You figure, I think 5 or 6 pounds has been the big fish so far.
Yep.
And then, bro, anytime you put money on the line in a tournament, I mean, things go crazy. So
Are you fishing to try to catch big ones, or are you just fishing to try to catch as much weight as possible?
Dude, I'm just fishing to try to survive in advance.
I got you. Well, I didn't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some guys that went out there and.
No, I think I did see 2 big ones in practice on some shallow bushes, and at a certain point, if it gets out of hand weight wise, I probably would try to go fish for those 2. But I'm just trying to catch as many as I can. You know, the whole fishing for big ones, I don't normally when people talk like that, that's because they finish in the bottom of the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Realistically.
Well, this is a tournament for big ones, though, Cliff.
Yeah, but like I've never.
You have to make it to the end to catch the $100,000 fish, though. So it's a tournament of strategy. It's a thinking man's derby.
Yeah, I'm just talking for me. I've never been like, let me go, swing for the fence, fish for big ones. That just makes us feel good when we drive home and we didn't catch them.
That's very true. All right, you got anything else before? What do you do on your off day? You just like chill and grill?
No, I'm chilling. I put some YouTube stuff together to release after this tournament.
Really?
Some recap stuff. I spent a lot of time on the phone with Sarah. I mean, she's you
guys have like a nanny that assists her while you're on the road?
No, she's just a beast.
She just does all 4 kids at once.
Yeah. And then the twins are out of school now. The big boy has got a few days of school left. So it's about to be total chaos at my house.
Wow.
So the 7,000, and it'll be out of school for the summer. So the 7,000 I'm gonna win this week.
Yeah.
That's going to Popsicles and Little Debbie's for the rest of the summer probably because they eat like animals.
Well, you mean you still potentially have $250,000 because it's like hypothetically you could win the big bass in the next round, which would be, you said what, 30,000?
I think so.
Which then that gets you to the finals, and then you win first and big bass in the finals. So then there's $230,000.
Yeah, that would be that's definitely it's possible. It's in front of us.
You have a 1 in 16 shot right now.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go fishing, see how I go.
Would you go nuts if you won $230,000 at Heavy Hitters?
If I won $230,000, I don't know what I'd do. I'd panic for a little bit, probably.
Will you say on BTL here, if you win the $230,000, you'll remove your mic and you will do a cannonball into the lake off of the boat?
No, I won't.
Why?
I won't.
There's no gators. There's no poisonous snakes. It's a clean lake.
It's cold. That water's cold, bro.
What is it? What's the water temps?
70 something.
Oh,
70s.
You could totally cannonball,
bro. If I won 230, I don't know what I'd do. It'd probably be silly.
You would cry.
I would cry.
You'd 100% cry.
Probably. But here's the deal. There's 230.
Yeah.
I mean, 230 is a chunk, but it's not even life changing. So, so here's the story. Let's hypothetically, I win this tournament.
Yes.
230 is great. Pay some taxes. Gets a little bit. You have a little stability for your wife and kids going forward. Dude, I just want the trophy. I just want the title. I want to win. It's been forever. I've only won once. I need to win again. That's what I'm chasing. I want to win.
You need to jump in the lake.
I'll jump in the lake. Y'all want me to jump in the lake? With or without the mic? Dude, I might
without the mic. I'm a media guy by heart. I would hate to see you fry a Major League Fishing mic. So take the mic off, say, hey, I'm about to jump in the lake, untape me, and then they'll have the drone up above like they do, and then it'd be like the winning moment of you where you have to yell cannonball like the kids do.
I really don't know what think about this. I went out of my mind when I caught a key fish.
Yeah. That
was for $3,000. It had nothing to do with the money. It was the point. It was the competition. So for $230, I don't know what I would do.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to talk you up here, but I think you got a shot. I mean, you got one. You're down to 16.
So you saying there's a chance?
Of course, there's a chance. Now, I mean, you're dealing with Michael Neal, he's pretty strong.
Yeah.
And Drew Gill has not finished outside the top 10 in like 19 consecutive tournaments at 15 different levels.
But that's the fun of it, bro. That's probably in tournament fishing.
Mm-hmm. Like, you're just like, bro, I don't know, I caught one, and Drew's over there going, well, the philosophical difference between the microscopical minnow, I'm averaging per cast to catch ratio, but my average fish catch is 7 ounces heavier in the northeast portion of the lake under this moon phase.
Yeah. Yeah, two different worlds.
And you're just like, I saw a tree and cast it, that son of a gun.
Well, there's a little more detail than that, but yeah, it's different worlds for sure.
All right, I'll let you get back after it. Like I said, I appreciate you jumping on. I just thought when I saw that, I actually saw that scrolling, and I was like, dude, it's an off day. It would be badass to get you on to kind of walk us through that catch.
Yeah, I was excited, bro. It was really fun. That's the ones that get you pumped. That's why we love. That's why I love tournament fishing, because every now and then something like that happens that is that's worth every horrible day I've ever had.
There you go. All right, take it easy. Good luck, Cajun baby.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll take our final break of the show. When we come back, wrap things up. BTL on a Tuesday. We'll be back right after that.
Everything you need, one legendary brand. Top on Strike King.
Gear that just plain works. Cast after cast after cast. AFCO. Any fish, any water.
This is Gamakatsu's new Nano Alpha line of hooks. If it looks familiar, that's because they are. It's the same shapes and sizes in the round bend and the EWG and in the new Horizon head that you know and love from Gamakatsu, but there are a couple new features with this Nano Alpha, which is this little green label that you see on the packaging. First off, 2 times faster hook penetration. That's because of the Nano Alpha smooth coating on it, and also it is 4 times more corrosion resistant. Check it out, Nano Alpha.
I've been using Sunline Shooter for the majority of my career. Millions of dollars made, lots of bass caught, and the gnarly, gnarly stuff. If you need a abrasion resistant, tough fishing line for the really, really mean stuff, Sunline Shooter is for you.
All right, welcome back. Wrapping things up here on a Tuesday. Big shout out to Tom Brewbaker. I had no idea he was at Scott's place. I just saw they caught a gigantic largemouth last night, but some really cool stuff with Fishing Chaos that they're doing there. Like I said, you kind of heard a little bit of a brainstorming session. I ran into him at the Classic, and we kind of mentioned it a little bit, but let me know in the comments, or you can email me, matt@bassone.com, if you guys would be interested in some BTL, some CTL, some ways you can get on the water and do friendly competition. I'm sure I could hit up some of the BTL sponsors, get maybe some swag, some goods to give away, and then all of the it'd be a $20-$30 entry fee, something like that, would all go to charity. But I think that would be a really cool way to include BTL, to include the listeners across the country. And we could do some in the winter for the guys down south. And anyway, all sorts of ideas there. And then also, shout out to Cliff Crochet. I always love to see it when the Cajun baby gets fired up. It's genuine. It's passion. You can't fake that. Tomorrow, We got throwback. We got Byron Velvick jumping on BTL. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. But Byron called and said, hey, man, what's up? He actually called me Shooter. He said, what's up? It was actually a pretty hilarious text exchange. I wonder if I can find that. By now, it just depends on how. Let's see. Yesterday. Yeah. He goes, hey there, old buddy, remember me? I said, yeah, what's up, Velvick? He said, what are you up to, Shooter? Classic Velvick. So I'm super excited about that. I know he's been on Bass After Dark with Ken Duke a couple times recently in the past year. But we're going to talk things with Velvick. I know he's back in the industry. He's fishing. I think he might be offering some guide trips, some ways you can get on the water with Byron Velvick. One of the cool things I know with him is he had the Whopper Plopper in his boat. I was actually in the boat with him when he threw the thing like 4 years before, 15, 16, 17, maybe 3-4 years before it kind of blew up in that open in the fall on Table Rock. So, oh, look, someone asked a fishing question for me. Any minnow rod suggestions for Denali? Yes, I like the 7-foot medium action Lithium Pro for the majority of my minnow needs, Devin. All right, Byron Velvick tomorrow, then back with live shows with Frank Scalish on Thursday. This has been another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live. We'll talk to everyone tomorrow. See ya!